Welterweight bout here. Danny Roberts coming in at -105 against Jonny Parsons, who sits at -125. Over under 2.5 rounds, +105 for the over, -135 for the under. Jonny Parsons, if you don't know who he is, it's because he hasn't fought in a long time. And he hasn't fought since his Contender Series fight, but 31 years old for him, 36 years old for Danny Roberts. This isn't one of the better matchups on the card, I'm not going to lie. But it is an intriguing fight because there's a lot of unknowns. Like Jonny Parsons hasn't fought in near 2 years. He's last fought on the Contender Series against Solomon Renfro, won a split decision. That was like kind of a wild fight, kind of a war. And Solomon Renfro, he's in the PFL now, and he's kind of been that guy that's like fringe UFC, and he just never got the chance. So it's not a great win, but it's not like a bad win by any means. But he's just been off for so long. It's like, why have you been off for so long? I think he's been out with some injuries or something, or some kind of, I don't know, concussion deal or whatever. I'm not really sure, but he's been out with some injuries for the time being. Danny Roberts hasn't looked very good as of recently. Back-to-back losses to Jack Della and a decision loss to Trinaldo. So, yeah, it's a greasy one. But I don't know. I mean, if you're taking Parsons, you're basically saying, like, you're going off of what he could be, you know? Right. Like, at that point, I mean, he's a favorite, which is kind of shocking to me. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, if you go with Parsons, I think you just have to play the KO prop, if I'm being honest. Like, you watch some of his tape, and the dude does hold some power. I mean, he's got how many wins? 8 wins, 6 by knockout. And even though some of the knockouts he has earlier on in his career against guys who aren't the best, but at the same time, I mean, if you watch the tape, you can tell the dude, when he connects, does hold some pop. And for Roberts, coming off the loss, obviously, to Jack Della Maddalena by knockout in the first round, which is understandable because Jack's such a phenomenal striker. But go through his UFC record sometime and look at all of his wins. And for the average fans, tell me, I mean, I don't know if the average fan would know any of his wins in the UFC. And he's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8 wins in the UFC. And I guarantee you the average fan couldn't name one single guy or even recognize the name of one single guy. So, he's going to want to keep it standing too. He doesn't really shoot a lot of takedowns, has somewhat of a submission threat on the ground. Even though, I think he's going to want to keep this fight standing. How tall was Jonny Parsons again? I was trying to look. 5'9". This is going to be another fight where Danny Roberts is going to be the taller guy. 6'1", Parsons 5'9". So he's going to have a slight advantage in the reach department and the length. So I think if he fights on the outside, he might win a decision and just avoid that Parsons right hand. And if he can do that, I think he could get this fight done. But same time, man, betting wise, it's one where I'm not going to be rushing to throw my money on it just because of the layoff of Parsons. Haven't seen him against higher level competition very much. He's still such an unknown. So, not begging to throw my money by any means. I'm going to stick with Danny Roberts here. I'm going to stick with the experience, the UFC level experience. And I do like in a striking matchup that he will hold the reach and the height advantage here.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell to do with this one because
it is one of the. It is a fight where you're just kind of like throw a coin up in the air, whichever way it lands. That's what you got to go with because there's not much to go off here either way.
Yeah, I'd probably wait and see like how Jonny Parsons looks at weigh-ins and stuff like that, just to like see what the vibe is like. But yeah, I wouldn't get too invested in this one. For the pick, I'm going to go with Danny Roberts just because of the home cooking. He's got some pretty solid. He's got a solid jab, and if he stays safe on the feet, I think he could win just off of volume. But Jonny Parsons is fairly durable, and what he's shown is a toughness to just keep coming forward and make it a dogfight. So. If he can do that, I don't see Danny Roberts like being too successful in a dogfight. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Danny Roberts for the pick, but it's not a confident one. It's one you're gonna have to keep your eye on as the week goes on.